Welcome to the Simsbury View. I'm Althea, Greaney, your host. This show will focus on one of Simsbury's unique institutions, the Community Farm of Simsbury, located on Wolcott Road, just not far from the Simsbury Airport. The farm just recently merged with another local institution, this one headquartered in Avon, called Gifts of Love. Both organizations were originally founded to help people in need. The farm around 1883, and Gifts of Love a little more than 100 years later in 1989, showing perhaps that poverty, people down on their luck, and issues of hunger never go away. With us today is Goode, the Executive Director of Gifts of Love, Maggie Saska, who is the garden manager of the farm, and also joining us is Lecours-Beck, who is the Director of Social Services for the town of Simsbury. Hi, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've just heard words like poverty and hunger, and here in Simsbury, which is always considered a wealthy town, that seems kind of out of character. Do we really have people that are going hungry here in Simsbury?
Well, we actually do have people who are going hungry here in Simsbury, and I know that we do have that reputation. And although there are pockets of wealth in this town, we also have many pockets of need.
Okay.
And to meet that need, we have 4 food programs here in Simsbury for those people. And just to give you an idea, we served over 5,000 people through those programs last year.
Wow.
So that I think that gives you an idea that there are people who are in need of food.
Okay.
Right here in Simsbury.
Okay, so we should probably, those of us who can, help those who can't. Very nice. Diana, you're sitting over there, it's so pretty in the purple, and can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Gifts of Love and how and why it was founded?
Sure. Gifts of Love started in 1989 in Simsbury. A woman actually started it in her garage for a lot of the same reasons we're seeing today. She saw a lot of her friends getting laid off from insurance company jobs, so she started putting extra food in her garage when she went to the grocery store. As her kids outgrew their clothes, she put those in the garage, and people that needed food and clothing would go to her garage and take them. And other of her neighbors would bring food and clothing and things like that, and it really grew into Gifts of Love, truly families helping families. So she outgrew that space in her garage, and she moved to where Joe Pizza is, across from the library.
Yeah.
And then Gifts of Love grew even more and was behind the police station in Avon for a while until that burned down in 2004.
Wow.
So that, in my opinion, I wasn't working at Gifts of Love at the time, but I was living in Avon, and that really kind of put Gifts of Love on the map. Not that I would suggest that as a marketing strategy at all, but it really did kind of bring Gifts of Love to the forefront of everyone's attention.
Okay. Yeah, fires are never a good thing.
No.
I would imagine that brings a lot of people into Gifts of Love also.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And Maggie, you're the farm director over there at the community farm. What's going on with that?
So we're entering our 5th year now as the nonprofit Community Farm of Simsbury. Now we've merged, of course, with Gifts of Love, and we're continuing to work on the farm. Primarily the production, if you drive by, you'll see that we grow vegetables on both sides of the road. We have different programming that supports new farmers coming in as well as our own food production. And if you drive by, you might notice we've got a lot of kids around, so we have educational programming as well that takes place on the farm. So it's really a dynamic and exciting place to be, and we really embrace the community.
Wow, great. So the 2 organizations merged, and how did that come about, and do you have a new name, or what's going on with that?
Well, we do have a new name that the overarching organization will be called Farm to Family, and we'll have 2 programs under that. One is Gifts of Love, and one is the Community Farm of Simsbury. But we're still going to be doing business as Gifts of Love and the Community Farm, just because there's so much name recognition behind both those organizations.
Okay.
And how it started, I guess we've been working together for the past 5 years.
Okay.
I've been at Gifts of Love for 7 years, and I can completely relate to what our clients are going through. I'm a single mom trying to raise 3 daughters in Avon. I get it. So I started looking around our food pantry and seeing what we were giving out to our clients, and I wasn't completely sure I would be giving that to my kids. A lot of ramen noodles, a lot of mac and cheese, a lot of things that just really weren't healthy. So I became really neurotic about fresh fruits and vegetables. So we got a grant through the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving to start a fresh fruits and vegetable program. And at first we thought it was going to be behind Nassau's Furniture, where Avon has their town plots, and we thought we'll hire a seasonal person, and clients can come to Gifts of Love for non-perishable food, and then go behind Nassau's Furniture and pick their own fruits and vegetables. It wasn't going to be perfect, but we thought this will be a start.
Right.
But at the same time, the Community Farm of Simsbury started, and so I was really keeping an eye on what they were doing. And once they got established, we got our grant. And I called the executive director who was there, and I said, you have funding for a seasonal person to grow fresh fruits and vegetables for low income. I had the same kind of grant. Let's combine resources and hire someone together. So we hired the farm manager together, and that person helps at Gifts of Love in the winter. And they were growing food for Gifts of Love at the community farm all summer. So we feel like we've been semi-merged for a long time.
Right.
We also did some educational programs together at the Avon school, the Life Cycle of the Plant program. We've helped with their events, they've helped with ours. So for us, it was a really fairly easy merger. Not that once you get lawyers involved, it was a little more complicated, but for the most part, it was really wonderful for us. So.
Oh, that's great. So how's that merger going to work? It's just, you're just sharing resources for the farm and to get the food to the families? Is that
Well, they've been growing food. They have a 1 acre teaching garden, and the town of Simsbury owns the land. And there's a lease with the town of Simsbury for $1 a year, with the one restriction being they grow food for low income people. So they donate as much food as they can to Simsbury Social Services. A lot comes to Gifts of Love, Favar, Billings Forge. So our feeling was we have a lot of, because we've been around for 25 years, a lot of established programs like our volunteer and our volunteen program. So our volunteer manager can manage big groups at the farm. Our phone system now is a voice over IP system. So when it rings at the farm, it's also ringing at Gifts of Love. They're another extension, just like we are.
Okay.
Our hope is that when someone calls the farm and it rolls over to Gifts of Love, we can answer the majority of those phone calls, because we have 135 volunteers.
Oh, wonderful.
We have people sitting at the front desk all day long, and our feeling is that's really going to free up Maggie and Corey to do what they do best, is to grow food and run educational programs, not to sit inside and answer the phone.
Right.
We can do all that back office support.
Fantastic. Wow, that sounds really great. So Maggie, you're the hands-on farmer.
Yes, so we're working, you know, this time of year we're doing our planning and to getting ready for the upcoming season, and we've been really fortunate that we've had a lot of volunteer help that's come to us from Gifts of Love and other community organizations, and we really rely on them to help them, you know, us do our production and get what we need to have harvested and taken out the door to families in need. So last year we grew over 8,500 pounds of produce just from our garden alone.
8,500 pounds?
Yeah, 8,500.
Wow,
And then
okay.
total off the farm production, we donated over 16,000 pounds, including some of our other farmers who grow on the land as well. So we're really fortunate to have such a great piece of agricultural land that we have access to, and we're really happy to donate.
How many acres do you farm there?
So currently we have the garden that we maintain is it's about an acre in size, and it also, as Diana was mentioning, doubles as educational space. But if you drive by the farm, you'll notice there's a large tract of land that has a deer fence around it, and that's 10 acres that is deer fenced. And we also grow on that side of the road, and like I mentioned before, we have other farmers that are growing on that land as well. So it's quite a bit of space.
Wow, fantastic. So, Mickey, what's the interaction between Simsbury Social Services and Gifts of Love and the farm? Is there an interaction there?
Yeah, there is. They help us.
Okay.
They give us food. Maggie was kind enough to deliver food to us the entire growing season last year and the year before with someone else for our bread day every week.
Okay.
And so it was great to be able to offer not only the bread that we get from the different various stores around, but also fresh fruits and vegetables right out of the garden. So the clients that came for that food were thrilled to get that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, there's nothing like bread and a carrot, you know.
Yeah. And the same with Gifts of Love. They share, you know, anything they have extra with us as well.
Okay, fantastic. So the community farm now, from what I understand, you also offer classes to students from Avon and Hartford and Simsbury as far as how to grow vegetables. Is that what it is, or just the life cycle of a plant? Or is it actual hands-on where the kids actually see these things growing?
Absolutely. So I can let Diana speak to that a little bit more, but we have different field trips from the local schools that come out, and it's essentially farm-based education that has a really good academic foundation. So there's time during the day where they come out and they actually interact with animals, and they spend time doing the garden chores, and like you say, they get the chance to pull a carrot out of the ground and really see where their food comes from, but also part of their day is spent on maybe different science activities and writing exercises. So it's really a nice integration of both the hands-on aspect of being on the farm and getting kids to see where their food comes from and connect with their environment, coupled with the academic sections that they try to really accomplish. And farm is a great place to learn on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
So.
It's amazing to see sometimes what's happening at the farm. Because I remember a couple of years ago, there was one day when there was a huge church group from First Church out there growing food for food sharing, gifts of love. There was an educational program with the 4th grade kids from Simsbury and Hartford. And then there was at the Walker out there, middle school, taking soil samples to do soil testing. So it really is a huge resource for the whole town. It's really neat to see.
Oh, that is great.
And one of the people at First Church, I thought was really interesting, because he had just moved into an assisted living place and was a huge gardener, and was so grateful to have the farm to be his garden space. And you know, I always say that Gifts of Love and the Community Farm are here for a lot of different reasons. That's another one that we should add to our list, is to
Right.
continue to give people meaning to their life and allow them to do things that they love.
Right, yeah, I know, because my mother just loves getting in, I mean, she's just a farmer's daughter, you know, so
Oh yeah.
you can never take that away from them. It's just like cutting them off at the knees or pulling them out of the ground. It's like not good for them.
Yeah.
So that's good that people that don't have the space where they're living can go there.
Absolutely.
So how would they get in touch with you? Would they call and then would roll over to Gifts of Love, and they would be able to say, yes, we can arrange for you to get down to the farm? And
Absolutely.
fantastic.
And we're going to try to come up with a schedule of big days where we have lots of people doing lots of different things, so there's a lot of interaction. But the First Church, I think, comes once a week or a couple times a
They
week.
do. So what we'll typically do is set up a schedule during a couple of weekdays in the mornings. It's usually the nicest time to work when it gets hotter out in the summer and the
Yeah.
springtime. Folks are welcome to come. They call ahead and let us know they're coming, and we have different tasks that we're basically whatever we're doing that day, they kind of join in on. And then other days, like Diane mentioned, we have big groups that come in and do mass plantings of potatoes and onions, and those days are a lot of fun too. It's a real community spirit to get those plants in the ground, so it's really great.
So there was an expression that came up during some of the discussion that I had with different people about this, and the new terminology is food security and the opposite, food insecurity. Is that just a new way of calling hunger something different, or is there a specific definition of what food security and insecurity is? Anybody?
Do you want to take that? Or?
I think it's possibly a new way of looking at it.
Okay.
And not only having, I think what it would mean to me is having enough food for today and planning for tomorrow to have some food also. So like setting up a steady stream, sort of like you would of income, only with food.
Okay.
That's just
a
my...
good way of looking at it. Because a lot of people have to really balance, you know, I mean, you're going to pay your oil bill today or you're going to buy food today. And so that really is, they may not always have a food issue, but when something else comes up, that is often something that they look at on their list of things where they have to balance what they're going to pay for and what they can't pay for.
All right. So it's a priority thing. So food insecurity would be, you might not know exactly that you're not going to have food on a certain day because you're going to have to take that money to buy gasoline so that you can drive to get to work or something like that.
Yeah, that's something that our clients battle with all the time, is that balance.
Yeah, making the choices, yeah.
Right. And one of the things we're working on is having a self-sufficiency person at the office, so she can really help people look at that budget and manage things in a better way. So you know, it's 5 degrees out. You know, I'm going to go through a lot more oil than I thought I was going to, and be able to budget for those things and plan for those things.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing right now is this weather is so unpredictable.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be more people having to make those hard choices and things. So But Simsbury also has a fuel bank, right? And how's that going?
It's going very well. We have
Okay.
Keep Simsbury Warm
Okay.
program, and that's really for people who are not quite eligible for the energy assistance program with the state.
Okay.
If you're $1 over income, you're not eligible. So it's really black and white. So we have this program to help someone that possibly might run out of heat or has exhausted all the benefits that they had.
Okay.
And thankfully, the residents of the Simsbury are so generous that they contribute to this program, and so we're able to meet that need.
Fantastic. Good. Glad to hear that. But with the cold weather, we still need the help. So keep
Absolutely.
at it. Okay. So let's see. I think we did. Did you mention Cheese Day? I know you mentioned Bread Day.
Well, we have 4 programs.
Okay.
One is the Bread Day, and that's every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock upstairs at Eno. And we get donations of day-old bread and pastries and things from Panera Bread Restaurant, Brookside Bagels. We also get Kentucky Fried Chicken weekly, I
Wow.
might add. And we get, I don't want to miss anybody, Fitzgerald's.
Wow.
Is wonderful. They give us a lot of food, and we put it all out on Tuesdays, and then in season we get the fresh vegetables from the farm. So that's every Tuesday, and
Okay.
so that we get quite a few people that come for that program. And then we have the mobile food share program,
Okay.
and that's every other week at the parking lot of First Church. And people can go to that and get a number of food items there. Then we have a food closet, and that's all donations from Simsbury residents.
Yeah.
We get an awful lot of, again, out of the generosity of the residents, we keep that going. And then finally, our biggest food distribution is Cheese Day, and that's once a month, and we provide fresh fruits, vegetables, usually meat and dairy, and then a ton of canned goods and Kentucky Fried Chicken and pastries from Starbucks. So we really give, you can walk out of Cheese Day with a lot of food.
Food. Oh, good. Good.
Do you get egg donations? That's one of the things that
don't
we're
get
starting to
eggs.
get a little
Really?
bit. People that have chickens, and then the chickens make so many eggs they can't use that many, so they can donate them.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah. I love fresh eggs.
That's great protein.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful.
Great. Well, people that have extras of anything, you know, I mean, if you've got a goat and it's producing a lot of milk, I would imagine that would be awesome too.
And a lot of times when you go to the grocery store and it's buy one, get 2 free, you can't use all that. but
Exactly.
We certainly can.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a
right.
great
It's a
way to
good
get
shot,
donations.
Yeah, that's a good, fantastic. Okay, and then, so if people are watching the program and they're not in need and they want to help, how would they contact, let's start with Mickey and then we'll work our way around. How would they contact social services to help what you need help with?
Well, donations of food and or financial donations would help everything that we offer. We have, in addition to energy assistance, we have family therapy programs, we have medical assistance, we have just financial assistance to help someone with their rent or for car repairs or things like that.
Okay.
These are all income guided programs, but and you have to apply for them. But
Right.
so all they need to do is either contact us or send us a check or bring some food to us, and we'll distribute it.
Right, and the food pantry's right here in the
Right
base
in
of
Eno.
Eno. Yep. So they can bring the food right here, and they can bring the checks here. They can mail the
Mail
checks
it, right.
to social services.
Social Service Department.
Okay, very good. Diane.
We have a lot of volunteer programs. We take donations of just about everything except used toys and books.
Okay.
We don't have the storage for books, and there are a lot of really great book donation programs, so we want to make sure they get into the right hands.
Okay.
Who would take food, checks, cash, coins from your car, clothing, household items, furniture. We have a box truck that picks up and delivers furniture.
Oh, wow.
So we can take just about anything. We also have a big volunteer program. People can sign up to volunteer once a week, once a month, only on big projects. We also have a big high school program for kids that want to volunteer. We're open 2 evenings and a full Saturday. We call it our Volunteen program. And the kids basically run the show. They answer the phones, they help clients, they stock the shelves, they do everything. So it's a great way for kids to learn more about the community and issues of hunger right here in their community.
Yeah. Well, also, wait a minute. Let's go back to Gifts of Love. So there's a website people can go to also.
There is giftsoflovect.org.
Okay.
And it's also connected to the farm website as well.
Okay, great. So now we'll go to Maggie.
We love volunteers, and as Diana mentioned, now that we're merged, that if someone would like to volunteer at the farm, they can call the general Gifts of Love phone number and ask for the farm or ask for information on the farm.
Okay.
And as I mentioned before, we'll set up regular hours in the summer and the spring, 2 weekend mornings. I think last year we did Mondays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then as we roll into our busy season, we'll also have hours on Saturday morning. And we encourage people, if they want to come out and meet their neighbors, to come on out and give us a call, or give Gifts of Love a call. And we're looking for folks who would work in the gardens with us, but because we're a farm, we've got a lot of diverse needs. So we've had people come out that have wanted to mow the lawn, or they want to come out and do light carpentry work, or they want to come out and don't mind cleaning the classroom. So we've got a lot of different types of spaces, and if you or someone has a talent that they're willing to share with us, we would love to have it. And we could use their hands in a lot of different ways, not just planting in the soil. And for donations this spring, we'll be doing another tool drive, so we're looking for support from the community. If folks have extra gardening tools or carpentry tools or mechanical tools, if you have a double set of something, if you're going through your garage and doing a spring clean out, this will be the spring where we're going to be asking our neighbors to please help us by donating, and the farm would be happy to take those things off your hands. So
fantastic. I never even thought of that.
It's true. When we get big groups that come out, we'll have United Way has been good to us, and we'll have 50 people on the farm. So now you have all these great helping hands, but now you need 10 rakes and not just one.
Right.
Or someone's willing to do some light mechanical work, but we need to have the tools to be able to support that. So we'd be really happy to take any garage or gardening tools if people have extras. That'd be great.
It's interesting. We don't just do clothing drives, food drives, we do tool drives.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, exactly. We may do animal feed drives soon.
Maybe we will. Yeah, we'll take animal fencing, things like that. Absolutely. Thanks, Diana.
Okay, so you mentioned animals, but we were talking about this primarily being a growing type of a situation. So are there animals? Do you have chickens and things like that on the farm too? Or is that something that you're planning on having?
No, we have animals on the farm currently, and primarily they're there for the educational programs. So when kids come out to the farm, it's a farm-based education program, and again, they do the academic work. But students and children and adults even, it's really interesting to see how different people connect with different parts of the farm. Some people are drawn to working with the animals. That's a great connection. Some people find that connection in the vegetable garden. So we're really there, the animals are there as a teaching tool, and it really getting people to kind of ground down and think about their environment and the farm. So they're there mainly for those programming. So we don't produce meat or milk cows anymore. So they're
I know,
they're there as
there
pets.
used to be cows
yes,
there.
Yes, that was, yes.
I used to always be driving with oh, there's a cow. But yeah, because it's interesting. But so basically, they're the smaller animals that you have on the farm.
Correct. And we even have volunteers that come in on the weekends and help with the animal care. So again, many hands.
Yeah. Well, light work. I remember my mother always saying, many hands make light work. And I'm like, yeah, well, I've got two. But okay, great. So if people needed help, they would contact social services first? Okay. And I have a website for you, so I'll give that at the end.
Okay.
But if they don't have a computer or anything, people could call you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that number is 860-658-3283.
Fantastic. And if people need help, would they start with social services, or could they go to Gifts of Love?
Either way, whatever they're more comfortable with, they can go straight to Gifts of Love if they want to.
Okay.
We work really well together. In my opinion, it's been great.
Okay.
Mickey's such a huge resource for us. So if they want to call Gifts of Love and start there, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And we're going to say, don't call the farm if you need help. call Gifts of Love or call Mickey at Social Services. And hopefully not too many people need help, but if they do, or if you know somebody that needs help, also, that they would start with social services, because then you can gently go and assist the people that need the help that aren't asking for it, even though they might need it. Right.
I would just add, and this is true, I'm sure for all three of us, is that everything is totally confidential.
Right, yeah. And it's hard enough needing the help. You don't need everybody knowing that you need the help.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Very good. Well, we're really coming down to some closing moments, and I just wanted to give, if you had anything else that you wanted to share with anybody out there in the community about volunteering, needing the help, donations, any type of information that we haven't covered that you might want to give out there, now would be the time to speak up.
I would just want to thank the residents of Simsbury for all the help they have given us over the years, both to the Keep Simsbury Warm Fund and the just regular financial assistance, the financial donations and the food closet. I mean, people just come out of the woodwork. Around the holidays, you know, we don't advertise for that we're looking for help. It just comes to us. Recently, around the holidays, we put Help Your Neighbor jars around town, and we received back over 100 jars, and there was like $4,000 totally. So we were able to give that to clients. So I mean, I just would like to say thank you to the residents for their contributions and don't stop.
Absolutely. It's a very generous area.
Great. Just really quick, Gifts of Love covers all of the Farmington's area?
We're actually Greater Hartford.
Greater Hartford,
Yep.
okay.
Last year we helped about 13,000 people in Greater Hartford area.
Fantastic.
And a lot more are coming from the valley than used to.
Okay, very good. Well, we're going to have to wrap this up. So, Diana Goode, Maggie Saska, and Mickey Lecours-Beck, thank you so much for joining us today. We've been discussing the basic needs of all human beings and the ways our local community have come together and found ways to help and ensure our neighbors who are experiencing difficult times have access to these basic needs. If you would like to help, you may call Diana Goode at 860-676-2323. Donate online at www.giftsoflovect.org or join Gifts of Love on Facebook. If you or someone you know in Simsbury needs assistance, please contact Mickey Lecours-Beck at 860-658-3283. If you have an interest in farming and agriculture and want more information about the Community Farm of Simsbury, you can call them at 860-217-0453 or visit their website at www.communityfarmofsimsbury.org. Volunteers are crucial to all nonprofit organizations. SCTV is no exception. So I want to thank today's camera operators. Our volunteers were Mary Root and Kathy Oakes. Thanks, Kathy. And together we can make a difference in our community and each other's lives. Thank you for watching.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.